now we have co-founder of Declassified, Matt Kennard, all-round rock star as well in the journalism world. Matt, you were in the court today. What's your take on what you saw?
Well, firstly, again, I know we talked about this yesterday, but we couldn't hear the proceedings for the first 20 minutes, and they had to stop the whole proceedings again and fix the sound, which is outrageous because the judge even started the proceedings by saying we apologise for the problems yesterday. It's not acceptable, and then it happened again. So that happened, and then the US made their case, or made some of their case, and basically it revolved around trying to separate Assange from a conventional journalist. So her argument was he's not a journalist, he's not protected by all the different legislation that should protect journalists because he's a hacker, he's a computer guy. And it's ridiculous because you have a situation where a journalist exposed more wrongdoing by the world's most powerful country than anyone's ever done in history. So he's more a journalist than anyone. But that is how the US is trying to fight the case. I mean, I didn't find it very convincing, and I know I'm probably a bit biased, but I really didn't find it convincing. But we don't know how it's going to go because the judges, as we've documented a lot of Declassified, are embedded in the British establishment. So they are they're from the same cloth as the ministers who want to get him, they're from the same cloth as the intelligence agencies that want to get him. So I don't know if we're going to get an independent judge to actually decide the case on its merits, because obviously today they're going to decide, or over the next coming weeks, they're going to decide whether Assange has the right to appeal the original ruling. Of course, any justice system worth its name would allow someone who is going to be sent to another country the rest of his life for the crime of journalism should have an appeal against that, but we might not even get that. But I'm hopeful from what I saw in the court, but I'm not hopeful as well because of what I know about the British justice system and how it's treated Assange from the start.
And we've talked about this yesterday, Matt, but it's important to recall, you've documented irregularity after irregularity. Please talk to us about that again.
I mean, there's just so much irregularity. It's also just so much clear interference in this case by the political system. Now, you know, like one of the tenets of a democratic society is the independent judiciary that operates independent of political control. And you've seen again and again in this case, the political system has had clear influence on the legal system. I mean, one example which I mentioned yesterday was one of the judges is one of the best friends of the minister who orchestrated his arrest. Another one we did was that 15 UK government staff were deployed on the secret operation to seize Julian Assange from the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Now, asylum is Ecuador's a friendly country, number one. Asylum is a right enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. He was clearly being persecuted by the United States, evidence today, and ever since they issued their indictment. So why is the UK government deploying 15 staff on an operation to seize him from the legitimate asylum? It makes no sense, and it's outrageous. But again, that revelations which we published in Declassified has not been covered by a single mainstream media organisation. So no one knows that the government was actively involved in the operation to get Assange. No one knows about it. So in that case, do we live in a democracy? If you have a media which is not informing its citizens about some of the most high-stakes stuff that there possibly is. We're talking about the death of journalism if this guy goes to the United States. If they're not being informed. We don't live in a democratic society. We don't have a democratic media. We don't have a free press. It's all an illusion. And I think that's what this Assange case has shown. It also has exposed the justice system. Because even someone like me, I don't interact with the justice system that much. But going into court, seeing how they prepare this case, seeing that they put everyone in a tiny courtroom so there's not enough space for the press, seeing that they put all the press at the back of another court with a grainy video 25 feet away and audio that doesn't work. It's outrageous. It's embarrassing to be British to see that. This is the most important press freedom case maybe in history because of the extraterritorial reach it gives the United States. And yet no one can access it. Outrageous. We need open justice. We need an independent judiciary, and we need to stop this extradition to protect not just Assange, protect all of us and protect our freedoms.
Matt, thank you very much. We'll be back after the court recesses. We'll try to access the court again and keep on trying to bring you the latest stuff, regardless of whether they have a crappy audio or more process abuse. We'll be here to report as much as we can.